Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you got your week off to a great start. I wanted to get on and talk about an important topic that someone asked me or suggested I talk about. As you can see by the title of my Bobcast, it's Reality Check Part Deux. Obviously, the last Bobcast I did was Reality Check. So, what do I mean by Part Deux? Obviously, Part Two. Take off on the movie. Um, Today I want to talk about choices. Okay, I've talked about choices in the past, but today I want to talk about choices and consequences. Okay, um, every choice that we make in life has a consequence. Some are good, some are bad, some are a mixture of those things. But the reality is that every choice we make has a consequence. Now, one of the problems I think that a lot of people, and I'm not picking on young people, but I see a lot of it there, but it's in all age groups too now, is that people want to make whatever choice they want to make because for so long people have been told you can do whatever makes you feel good. Remember that in the 60s, those of you my age, do it if it makes you feel good, do it. Um, they want to be able to do whatever makes them feel good, whatever they feel like doing, whatever they want or they think is cool, or whatever the case is, but they don't want to accept the consequences of that choice or that decision. And it's really a big problem nowadays. See, here's something that people have to understand. Um, the laws of nature, or God's law, or whatever phrase you want to use to describe it, are steadfast. They're they just are. Okay? For example, gravity. If you drop a bowling ball, it's going to hit the ground. It doesn't matter if it hurts your feelings. It doesn't matter if you think it's not fair. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. It's going to happen. Okay? It's still going to hit the ground. So no matter what choice you make, whether you think the consequence is fair, whether you think the consequence is good or bad, it's really irrelevant to the fact that you made that choice and now you have to deal with the consequences. See, here's the saying for you. If you don't like where you're at, make different choices because you are exactly where you are because of the choices you have made up to this point. Do you remember the old saying from supposedly from Einstein? Of course, everything on the internet's true nowadays, but the definition of insanity being doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Craig, how are you, my friend? Long time. Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. So people think that's insane, and it really is, right? If you keep dropping that bowling ball, I don't care, it's going to keep hitting the ground. Okay? Here's one thing to remember. We're not given a good life or a bad life. We're given a life, and it's our choices that make it either good or bad. Okay? All choices have consequences, and if you don't like the consequences, you need to make different choices. Like I said, one of the biggest problems these days is people's desire to do whatever they want and have no consequences for those choices because they say that the consequences are not fair, the consequences hurt my feelings, the consequences are whatever they are, okay? Bottom line is that choice that you made resulted in the consequence that you got. And if you don't like the consequence, make different choices, folks, okay? So wake up a little bit and quit worrying about having your feelings hurt and quit worrying about everything being fair, because in this country especially, we say all men are created equal, all people are created equal, but that doesn't mean you get to end up in the same place. You get the same opportunity as everybody else, but uh, but you don't get to end up everywhere. You get to start off in the same place, but you don't get to end up in the same place because you're going to make different decisions. You're going to work harder than someone else or not as hard as someone else. You're going to have a better skill in something than someone else does. You're going to get more education in a certain area, or they may get a different education or better education in another area, or they just have more drive and desire or a bigger why for doing something. So we don't always get to end up in the same place as long as we start in the same place. So quit worrying about life being fair. Quit worrying about things that hurt your feelings. Get over it, cupcake, and realize that the choices you make are what are determining where your life is. Before I get off here, I want to remind everybody how to reach out to me. On Facebook, it's Bob Norman. My business page is Buff Monkey Marketing. On Twitter, it's @buff_monkey. On Instagram, it's buff_monkey. On email, if you want to email me with a topic suggestion or reach out with a comment, it's buff_monkey@reagan.com. And my YouTube channel is Big Norm 1963. So if you'd like to review some of the other videos we've done in the past, if you want to send me a topic suggestion like this one was, if you want to just comment on what we've talked about, throw in your 2 cents, please do it. I've been getting a lot of great feedback and I really appreciate it. So just to recap tonight's comments, you are where you are because of the choices you made. Choices in life have consequences. It doesn't matter if you think they're fair. It doesn't matter if they hurt your feelings. Choices have consequences, and if you don't like the way things are, make better choices. You guys have a great night, and I'll catch you in a few days on the next Bobcast.